Hello everybody, what is going on? A new video here. How to use Electrum. Electrum is a Bitcoin wallet that you can use for Bitcoin and also other coins. I do know that there is Electrum for Bitcoin Cash. It's actually called Electron Cash. And I also know that there is a project for the recent Bitcoin fork called Bitcoin Private. Now there might be more versions of Electrum. I'm not a really expert in the program, but I do use it often, so I will just let you guys know what I know. And now first of all, I just created here a test wallet with a simple seed. I haven't created the segwit address, which is a new format of addresses for Bitcoin. You want to watch out with that. I recommend just using a standard address if you're making one. Electrum has a lot of options. You can, for instance, make a two-factor authentication wallet, and we want to make a new wallet, so we go to file and then new, then we just type in new test, just put whatever name here that you want to use, click next. We'll be making a standard wallet. I will be explaining shortly what the others do. This function here will be a multi-signature wallet that gives you two keys, and the third key is on a remote server that uses Google Authenticator. So this is really secured, and you can only send your funds if you authenticate it with Google, as well as the other keys. This will be the same, but it will not be with the server and Google authentication, but you will just have two keys that you need to sign before doing the transaction. This fourth is you can import your Bitcoin addresses or private keys to the wallet to see them or to use them. So if you have keys from another wallet, say Jax, you can put those keys in those, and let me be very clear, those need to be private spent keys if you want to have full access to the wallet. And you just put these in. I can actually show you. So if we have a key here, that would be one key, one address where some bitcoins is, and this will be this will be the second one. And then you can just click next, and it will create a new Electrum wallet for you. So this is really handy, but we'll be doing a standard wallet. So just click next, and then it's going to create a new seed, and this seed is really important. You should write that down. You can also have some other options here. Use a master key, use a hardware device. I think they have some options for that. Maybe a Trezor or a Ledger support, so you can use those devices in combination with Electrum. But we are just gonna do a standard wallet. Now here Electrum gives you the option to make a segwit wallet. segwit is basically a new format of addresses for Bitcoin. Only pick this option if you know exactly what you are doing, and you know perfectly what this means. If you don't know that, just use standard. Now we're gonna you should click next, and then you're gonna see your seed. Write that down, make sure you back up that well, and you can also you have the option to encrypt the wallet with a password, or just leave it unencrypted, and then you should be having your wallet. So Electrum is a nice wallet. I do recommend it. Over here you have some icons. This shows you the network. You want to make sure that this is green. Over here you have the seeds, preferences, and your password icons. Here is the history. Here you will see all your transactions, incoming and outgoing. Depending on how much fee you used per byte, how much satoshis per byte, it will take some time, depending on the network congestion. So how much the network is actually being used and how many transactions there are still waiting to be confirmed, and so that can take hours. With a good fee, it takes maybe 90 minutes, and it can, if you lessen the fee, it will take more and more time, because it will need more and more confirmations to get added in the blockchain. The less fee, the less chance miners are gonna pick that up right away. So what you want to do is you just create your standard wallet with a seed. Make sure you write that seed down. You can also print it out and put it in a safe. This is very important. If you lose that seed, you won't be able to get back into the wallet, especially if you have encrypted it with a password. So you want to make sure that you back up the file as well. You can do that here, save copy. Just go to file and then save copy, and you make a couple copies of that wallet file as well and put it in a safe spot, such as a USB drive or any other carrier. So we have our test wallet right here, and the first thing that I do is you go to tools, and you can leave this on, use replace by fees. What this means is actually if you send Bitcoin out and you have perhaps used a too low fee, you can replace that fee you already used with a higher fee. So yeah, transactions will be marked as non-final, and you can have the possibility to transact them with a higher fee. It can be handy if you made a mistake or want to make sure that that transaction goes faster. So edit fees manually, show fee edit box in the send tab. Usually this is fine where it's at, so I don't actually recommend that you can, if you really want to adjust this manually, you can, like here, but usually Electrum does this right for you, and I'll get to that in a second. Now here is what I turn off, is use change addresses. what happens is that if you do a transaction, your change is going to go to another address. I don't want that. I just want everything in one or two addresses that I control. It's up to you how you want to do this, of course. But that is how I use Electrum, because you don't want to have your Bitcoin spread out on multiple addresses, especially if you want to send round numbers to an exchange and want to make sure that everything goes well. It can be it can arise issues if you have multiple addresses. Now, so that is the first thing that I usually do. You can keep this on USD or switch it to Euro. So you just disable this change and then close, and now we go to tool. No, we actually go to view, and you can here hide addresses and show addresses. You're gonna click to show, so you can see all your addresses. This is what Electrum makes for you. All these addresses where you can send your Bitcoin and where your change is. Now, it's all really handy, but do we really need so many addresses? We all know that Bitcoin isn't the most private coin there is, so if you are concerned about privacy, you can always buy some Bitcoin private or any other anonymous coin. So what I do is just I freeze everything except the things that I will need. So I just disable change already, so we can freeze all those addresses. What freeze does is basically they won't be used. So you go ahead and you freeze the lot of them. And of course, this is up to you. This is just how I do it, but you don't have to follow me. By all means, go ahead and use all these addresses, but keep in mind that there might be more fees if you have your bitcoins spread on multiple addresses. I do know that is the case with Jax and HD wallets, and that can be quite upsetting if you pay $100 to send something in a fee. Well, that is not really great. So here you can see, guys, that I have now 2 working open addresses for Bitcoin. I got the first one 19 IH and 1Q8. So I like these 2 addresses. So what you want to do now is just right click on them and you can show the private keys for them. Make sure you write those down. These are basically the keys to these individual addresses. The seed will get you everything back. So the seed will get you control over everything, basically the whole Electrum wallet containing all these addresses, but the private key for these addresses are just individual security access numbers, basically. So you can individually also back these up, and I do recommend that you do. So you can always import these 2 addresses right here. If I show this private key, you can import the wallet here in Electrum again. You'll just get these 2 addresses and all this will be gone. So that can be really handy if something goes wrong. So okay, we have frozen everything and we are just using these 2 addresses. Now if you want to receive something on your address, you just do this, right click on it and then request payment. Now you have here your receiving address. You can click this icon, copy to clipboard, and if you want to send your Bitcoin to this wallet, you use this address. That's going to be the primary Bitcoin address that we're going to use. If you want to send it to your secondary, no problem, just request payment. Or you can also copy address right away. Yeah, if you want to make it show here in receive, then you right click and then request payment. You can also view it on the block explorer and some other options. You can here with context you can add some addresses, add some folks or wallets. Console, yeah, just tells you some general info about the developer, and you can donate some tips. So yeah, we can copy this address, request payment, and we can receive our Bitcoin. So if I wanted to send 1 Bitcoin to this wallet, I'll just copy this, click, and you enter that in Exchange or maybe your NiceHash account, and you will be getting your Bitcoin, and this will go to the address you have provided. Now everything, the change is gonna go back to these wallets, so everything will stick to these primary and secondary addresses. If you want to open up a couple more, that is no problem, you can do that. You know, if you want to use 5 of them, if you want to use 10, it's all up to you. That is some freedom that you have. You can open them all up if you wanted to. I just like to have an oversight, and 1 or 2 addresses is fine. Now if we go here to the send, we can send something to ourselves. Let's do it. Just copy the secondary Bitcoin address. Now we're gonna paste this. So this is our secondary Bitcoin address, and we will send, for example, 1 Bitcoin. Now here I'm gonna explain that to you. This will be 8 Satoshis per byte. This will be a very fast transaction. Target will be within 2 blocks, so this won't be taken more than 60 minutes, depending on how much the Bitcoin network is congested, of course. So it is up to you what you want to use. 5 sats is fine. 5 sats per byte. It will be confirmed within 5 blocks, so it's gonna take, you know, 90 minutes. This is hard to say how much time it will take, but this will be confirmed within a day, at least within a couple hours. So this will go pretty fast in 5 blocks. Now if we go lower than this, 1 sat a byte, I don't really recommend to do it unless you don't really care how fast it will arrive there. So if you're like, hey, this is just a small amount of Bitcoin and it can take a couple days to get to this wallet, you really don't care and it's not important, you can use lower fees. But that is at your own discretion, and what I already explained to you, the lower the fee, the less chance that the miners are gonna pick it up and that it will be confirmed in the block. So you'll be at the end of the queue, waiting in line. That is in a nutshell what is gonna happen here. So I'm thinking, is there something else I need to explain to you guys? I want to keep this video short, and so that is sent. Make sure that you put this on at least 5 sats a byte. at the moment, and you know, you can do 8 sets. You can put something manual in there if you wanted to, you know. So this will be more than fine. 8 sets will be really fast, and 5 sets will be the standard, I guess. So you can just use 5 sets a byte, and you obviously are gonna pay a little bit more fee. Insufficient funds. Yeah, I don't have any funds, so we won't be able to see how much fees it's actually gonna use on this one Bitcoin transaction. But yeah, it will be a couple dollars at least, easily, depending on the network. Alright, so here history will come in, your outgoing and incoming transactions. You can also right click these for details and see how if they are unconfirmed or confirmed. Will be some icons here, and that is basically Electrum. What you want to do, some extra general information. You can make sure you have installed the latest Electrum version. If there's new updates, you better just install them. You can just extract them or install them, and everything should work right away with the wallets you have been using. Because the software is updated pretty often, and they have an active community, so that I do recommend with security issues and that kind of stuff that you keep at least a decent latest version on your PC. So that is no problem. It is much easier to use or to switch or to update than full node blockchain wallet, because Electrum doesn't download a blockchain. It connects to basically it connects to a proxy or a network, and then it gets the information from there. So here you can see wallet, and then you can see your information, which wallet type it is. Here you can select standard or segwit. Make sure you just use standard wallet, unless you have a really good reason to make a segwit wallet. But keep in mind that segwit wallet is not going to be supported with most merchants or exchanges, so that wallet is going to be invalid. So it will be harder for you to send your Bitcoin out or to get it. So you want to be really careful with that kind of stuff. You don't want to have thousands of dollars in limbo, unable to use it. So use that only for a good reason. Make sure that you know what you're doing. Some extra wallet information there. Show coins. Yeah, you can show the coins tab, and I think that this will show you the amount that you have on different addresses. It gives you some more information about that. At the moment we don't have any funds in this wallet, so it's blank, but this will fill up accordingly. Basically it's the same kind of thing that the addresses tab does. Network options, don't touch this unless you know what you're doing. You can switch to a proxy and set custom servers, but don't change this unless you know what you're doing, because it's all working. And Electrum has been working perfectly for me for years, so no need to change something that is working. Plugins. That is actually pretty cool stuff. Virtual keyboard, email, cosigner pool, two-factor authentication, some extra options here that you can use. Sign, verify message, encrypt, decrypt messages, pay too many. Pay too many, I guess that will be a transaction that you can send a single transaction to multiple addresses. Load transaction speaks for itself. If you have a transaction hash number, you can import it here, maybe get some information about it. Help speaks for itself. You can access the official website documentation. It can help. You know, actually on the website of Electrum, it's a good read. I do recommend reading some stuff about it. You know, it can just give you some insight and make sure that you don't make any mistakes. So once you have, if you're new to Electrum, read a little bit about it. Do maybe a test. Send some small amount of Bitcoin out and see if it's working. Get yourself a good feeling on it, and then you'll see that it's a great wallet. So that is all the tabs and Electrum wallet explained for you guys. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comment section. Electron Cash for, say, Bitcoin Cash or Bitcoin Private, it will work the same way. So you can use this video for those kind of wallets as well. They're just clones, custom wallets from Electrum for other altcoins, and they will be the same, roughly the same as Electrum. It is made by not the official team of Electrum, so there's other developers, so keep that in mind. It is not all made by the team of Electrum, from what I know. These are side projects, but they are affiliated with Electrum, so it is decently safe to use. But always be careful. Always be careful with cryptocurrency, especially sending large amounts in single transaction, that kind of stuff. The general things. Always be careful. Triple check your wallets and your addresses. Make sure that something, you know, exchanges, if they support anything, etc., etc. Hopefully you guys know what I mean. Also, last, there is a handy function in Electrum that you can use to sweep your private keys from something else, maybe a wallet that is compromised or something that doesn't work anymore, and you can sweep these keys to your Electrum addresses or address. Now this will be an actual transaction which will require fees and as such confirmations, so please be aware of that. But that option is in Electrum, and I'll show that to you. You can go here to your wallet tab, and then you can sweep your private keys. So if you click that, you can sweep. So what this means is you're gonna move the bitcoins that are on these private key addresses. So just you know, as example, we'll, you know, we have some keys here. And and here's our Bitcoin that we want to retrieve, and we want to retrieve that, send it to this Electrum address. So you can put the address that you want in here in this tab. This is where it's going, and here you enter your private spent keys. just like this, and you separate them with enter in a new row, and then you can use that again. And this will take some time. This will be an actual transaction, and that information will also be shown in the send, I do believe. So you'll have the option to adjust your fees accordingly. So keep in mind that this sweep option, this will be an actual transaction. So Electrum is gonna sweep those funds. It's gonna sweep those keys and the funds on it to a new address. And once they are on this address, it will have a new key. You'll have new keys to back up, because the funds will be swept to this new one. So then you need to write your private spend of this address right here. Write that down and make sure you back up that securely. So that means going here to addresses. We got our 19 primary address right here, and then right click, show private key. Make sure you store that securely. So that is that. Have a good day, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, short video about how to use Electrum. So take it easy, guys, and see you later.